So one more driver came out this week on the USGA and RNA's conforming list, and that is the new Cobra LTDx line. New drivers, new fairway woods. We're going to take a look at them, see what I think, and talk about the Bryson effect. Let's go. Hi everyone, welcome to the Mobile Club Maker. I'm AJ, I hope you're having a wonderful day. So today we are going to look at the new offering for 2022 from Cobra, that being the LTDx driver lineup. Okay, so let's get right into what this driver is all about. And first thing we probably should cover is the name of it, because when you look at this new driver, this LTDx, which is a sort of continuation, I guess you would say, of the original LTD driver. However, when you look at those two drivers side by side, you will notice very quickly there isn't really a whole lot in common between the two. This isn't like when we looked at the new Rogue ST driver that shared a lot with the original Rogue driver design. When you look at these two drivers side by side, they have a very different look to them. This new LTDx driver really looks a lot like, well, last year's RADSPEED driver. And it's really not a surprise that it looks like that driver, but is named after the LTD driver. And all of that, I think we can basically say, is thanks to Bryson DeChambeau. Yes, the Bryson effect. Here is one more example of that, because over the last couple years, Bryson has been using one of the original Cobra LTD driver design sort of on and off. And so that driver, that name has been in the golf press quite a bit. So it is not a coincidence in my mind in any way, shape, or form that for this year's model, they named it after that LTD driver that he has been putting in play over the last couple years. Even though when you look at this driver, it really far more closely resembles the RADSPEED, the Speed Zone, these last couple drivers that Cobra has put out. Now the LTDx comes in 3 different models. So you have sort of the standard LTDx model, you have the LTD Max, which is a more draw biased option, and you have the LTDx LS, which is the lower spinning version. So as I've already said, this LTDx really resembles the RADSPEED driver from last year very closely. If you look at the crown, very similar design, shape, the look, the little fins, the little airfoils that are on it, all very reminiscent of last year's model. If you look at the sole, again, very similar sort of geometry to it, the movable weights, the entire design. Okay, let's look at a few of the design element highlights of this new Cobra driver. The first one, and you can see it on the picture here on the sole, is the power core. This is really referring to sort of the weighting technology that they're using, where they're moving weight forward and low in the head. I always think of this idea as what you found in the old TaylorMade SLDR driver or the TaylorMade M2 driver, where they move the weight really far forward, and what they found is that gave you really good ball speed numbers. Now, there is always the trade-off, because as you move that weight more forward, you do sort of lose some control sometimes, but you definitely get better ball speed numbers when you move that weight a little bit closer to the face. So that is what they're referring to there with that power core. You also see on there, once again, they have their hot face technology. Again, this is just referring to one of those buzzwords that's in golf right now, AI. You've got an AI designed face that's supposed to give you a hotter or more uniformly hot face across a larger percentage of it. So if you hit it high on the toe or low on the heel or wherever, you're going to get more consistent, better ball speed from that. And speaking of the face, again on this driver, you once again have that very distinctive looking CNC milled face, and you see that infinity logo that's once again on there. I would say Cobra probably by far has the most distinctive looking face at this point in time. It is pretty instantly recognizable when you see it. It is a very unique look to it with that CNC milling. This new driver also has plenty of carbon fiber on it. Yes, again, you've got carbon fiber in the crown, but you also see on the sole a good percentage of that sole is also carbon fiber on the toe, on the heel. It appears to be on the back as well. So a large percentage of this driver is made up of carbon fiber, again, allowing for reduced weight, allowing for more discretionary weight to be moved around where they want it. Ideally, it sounds like in this driver, both forward and then also set far back at the back end of the club as well. Of course, you've got Cobra with their standard adjustable hosel, 1.5 degree angle between the hosel and the shaft. That gives you a total of 3 degrees adjustability in either your loft or your lie. Okay, so the main difference with this new driver, I would say, really comes down to the adjustable weighting options. So again, there are 3 different drivers. The first 2, the weighting options, really nothing new. It's the same basic design. You've got the LTDx that has a single removable and interchangeable weight in the back of it, and that goes along with a fixed weight in the back that's, again, designed just to make this the sort of high, straight, and far version of the driver. Then you've got the LTDx Max, where you have, again, one weight set in the back, but then a second weight set in the heel, so you can move more of the weight towards the heel for more of a draw bias. Again, we've seen this feature in other Cobra drivers. No, the big change comes in the LTDx LS model, where you can see here, instead of having what has been in previous models sort of a front and back weight, the weights are now positioned laterally. So you've got one towards the toe and one towards the heel. The design here being, you can either sort of set it for more of a draw bias or more of a fade bias by moving and swapping those 2 weights. Now, I really like the look of this. I think this is a really cool looking feature on here. I do have a couple questions about how much change, how much you will actually see from changing these weights, because we're talking about 12 grams and 3 grams are going to be the 2 stock weight options. There's not a huge amount of difference between, or a huge amount of space between the 2 weights, right? That we're probably looking at like about an inch of space between the 2 weights. I don't know at that weight and that distance how much changing them either in the draw or the fade position is really going to show itself to most golfers. Yeah, if you're a better golfer, if you're a more consistent golfer, you may be able to pick it up. You may see a little bit difference, but I have a little bit of a difference. But I have a feeling most golfers, I don't know how much you'll even see. Now, that being said, assume for a second that I'm completely wrong on this point, and maybe you will see a big difference. You've got your draw option, and you've got your fade option. But what happens if you just want to have a neutral option? What if you just want to hit the ball straight? That doesn't appear to be an option, at least in the standard configuration. Again, you've got 12 grams, you've got 3 grams, but if you just want to hit the ball straight, well, that seems like you're going to have to get some additional weights. I guess, I don't know if Cobra's going to have 7 gram, 8 gram, something like that, but it seems like you're going to have to get a matched pair of 7 or 8 gram weights and install those. So if you are wanting a neutral launching Cobra driver in this model, you're not going to get that right out of the box. Okay, so my last question is, will this driver be the best deal in golf this year? Well, let's look at what you're getting. We're talking about, again, carbon fiber crown, carbon fiber sole largely. We're talking about an AI designed face that's designed to be hot across the greatest percentage possible. It's got an adjustable hosel. It's got movable weight technology. So all the big keys from any of the big name driver brands are in this driver. So you're getting all that technology, and you're getting it in a brand that's been around for a long time, and I would argue in a brand that's been producing, at least for the last 4 or 5 years, going back at least to the F9, has been producing as good a driver as anyone else out there. Now you put all that together, and then you factor in that the price on these drivers has traditionally now been around $100 less than some of the other big name driver brands. And I think it's pretty easy to say that this Cobra driver is and probably will be one of the best deals in golf, and definitely something, if you are in the market for a new driver, that I would definitely suggest you at least try out. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please go down below, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you'll be alerted when I post new videos. I am on Patreon. If you want to support me there, you can find me at AJ Golf. And if you want to find me on Instagram, you can find me at Mobile Club Maker. I've got some build videos coming up. I haven't done a build video in a while, so we've got some of those coming up real soon. We will see you next time. Bye.